What's up, everyone? I'm your host, Dustin Dowling. With me today is Jeff Fieldhouse, comedian, host of the Baby Face Assassin podcast. Jeff, welcome to the Smart Haus.
Thanks for having me back, dude.
Yeah, we had to bring you back. You were too loud last time, I think.
Yes, way too loud.
You're yelling and screaming at me
often, but I think I took alpha brain, and my inner alpha came out. So sorry,
dude. It's been so long time. I actually even skipped like the part where I'm supposed to say like, "Welcome to Smart Haus," a Pittsburgh podcast about smart technologies, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and the future. And then I did the host thing, and Jeff's here with me.
Oh yeah, you found a way to bring it back.
Yeah, I did. I started reading, and I was like, "That's not the top of the page." That's so. Is there anything different with you now? You same cell phone, same technology. Did you upgrade since you've been here?
Did not upgrade the cell phone yet.
Okay.
I did give it a nice solid cleaning.
Oh.
And I saw one of those like little wind power wash things.
Mm-hmm.
Gave it that. Got a new MacBook, which is exciting.
Okay.
So I upgraded that. And yeah, same old, same old. I think the last time we talked, I wasn't doing Berg Bus yet. And we've started doing that.
Oh, I didn't realize you were wearing that. I think now you're the second person to wear the Berg Bus hat. I'm pretty sure Light was on here, and I think that's what he wore.
I have to. I go on pods, and I'm wearing like random like sports team hats and shit, and I'm like, I need to represent the boys.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to talk about the MacBook, which is a little bit, but since you brought up the Berg Bus, and since I did a video with Matt, I think it was his first time. I did the video his first time on the Berg Bus, so he still was like filling it out, like, how do we do this? And I think I told him afterwards, I was like, I've seen you a bunch of times, Matt, perform, and it's probably different that I've seen you, but like, I would rather go on the Berg Bus and have Matt perform than to watch him on stage at the Improv. And I'm sure that goes with maybe some other comedians too. It's such a blast.
It's so interactive. Whenever you like think about the setup and you're being a comic, you think that it might be horrible because usually we like when people are quiet, not heckling and not over drunk. And on this bus, people are encouraged to heckle. We're encouraged to get them very drunk. So it was just fun as hell. Like, it makes crowd work way more better. And I think that I'm a lot more of like Jeff. On stage, I'll have like jokes and stuff like that. But on the Berg Bus, you feel like you're a kid again on the school bus cutting up with people. Like,
that's awesome.
Calling out, dancing. And like, I'm not the type of person that will get on the front of a bus and be like, who got a fucking beer? But when you put on the hat and a Steeler jersey, and I just start getting into character.
I was going to say, because you become this character, and I've talked about this before with media and stuff, it's like, there's so much freedom. It feels great because it's like it's not you. No consequences.
Literally, you can let go, and then you forget after the one lady gets off, and she's like, "I've known your grandma for years," and I'm like, "Okay, well,
woo, go Steelers, lady, let's do it."
Literally.
Do you do more of a tour? Are you doing jokes? Like how are you doing it?
I like to do the night one because it literally feels like more of a comedy club / cut up on wheels. Like the night one, I'll say a couple fun facts, and each time I've done it, someone's like, "Who gives a shit? Let's party!" And I'm like, "Hell yes!" Because I want to throw in a couple whenever we pass like the North Shore and stuff like that, just because some people are like, "Are we gonna learn anything?" But if I get the vibe when they come on and it's like birthdays, people are drinking, I'll be like, "Fuck that!" And I just won't do it. Now when I do like private tours, which we've done during like the afternoon and day. I have like 3 note cards.
You got some notes.
Just every section that we hit, basically like South Side, Oakland, all that stuff. I'll have it ready. But those night ones, it's great because I'll try out like new jokes. I'll try out like stand-up sets because when we first start the ride, I'll start doing like 3 or 4 jokes that like are about me.
Okay,
that can get the people involved. And then you like find out birthdays, and then you just find out like
work the crowd.
Oh, you'll see like swinger couples. You'll see a guy that like thinks he's the shit. And then he'll call someone out, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" And then we chant like, "This guy's a small dick," and then he even gets on it. Like,
that is the best with comedy shows when usually that person in any type of situation would be mad probably or something like that. But since you have to accept it.
He loves
it. Small penis,
Literally, by the end of it, he started chugging and was like,
"He's
this.
a small penis guy."
And he kind of dug it. And that's the thing. No one gets like too serious.
That's awesome.
And I thought it'd be nerve-wracking, but it makes going back to stand-up even more fun.
Yeah.
If you have a moment in the crowd, I feel like I'm way more comfortable now to like riff because you're doing 90 minutes just you on a bus.
You're kind of doing crowd work. I mean, just like anything else with stand-up comedy is like, yeah, you're working, but you're also practicing, so you're better. You're working your craft.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I do remember when Matt, like, he really didn't do a tour type thing, though. He did try a couple times, and when he did, it was funny. It was like trying to mix with a fact, but then to realize that, then he just turns it around and says something fucking crazy because it's mad.
When you say it, it's weird because it's like being at a house party, and then while people are talking and chugging, you're like, "Did you know that this house was actually built in 1640?" Like, cool, dude, get us a bong. Like, what are you talking about? So I was like, okay,
that's so funny. So you said you got a MacBook.
Yes.
How big? Is it a little MacBook? You got, something you can throw around? The Air, maybe?
Yeah, I got the MacBook Air.
Okay,
John, because I like to edit on the go.
Yeah.
And I like to have something at work on break so I can kind of just pull out and not be too showy.
Yeah.
I've always been a MacBook Air guy. I don't know why.
I think it's that feeling that you can edit anywhere.
Yeah.
It's the whole, the future of like, I can go to this store, I can go to this coffee shop, and then I'm doing my entire work for the day. I could do it right here.
Now, if I want to download anything, I always have to bring my external hard drive. It's like, that's the one bad thing about the MacBook Air. It's just not a lot of space options. Once you start getting a bunch of Adobe Premiere and everything else on it, that shit fills up quick.
But that's what's the cloud. Everything's going to the cloud. So, like, for example, the Chromebooks, like, their method is to basically put all the platforms, all the apps up in the cloud, and then you just access it.
So you never download it.
So you never truly download the full app. Now, I think Adobe per se, like, they're trying to do that because they do have Creative Cloud, but they're so big, like, you can't do that right now.
You still have to download it to where it shows up like as an app in the bottom corner.
Yes,
opposed to the other way where I think that you kind of just use it and it pops up. And if you exit out of the internet browser, I assume that you would exit out of like everything else. Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm not too big of a fan of. But hey.
But it's going to evolve. It evolves so quick because they have like express versions of it that is full blown on the on HTML. What am I? I'm showing my age with that one. And it's all there. And I talk about being in your future city. I feel like that's how the world's going to be because more people will have creative jobs, or like that's because there'll be some sort of universal income and stuff that when you're in the city that you kind of have most of the things that you need.
Yeah.
And so if you want to make more money, it's more or less your hobby that you enjoy to that. And so, you're just taking public transit and stuff with your nice new Mac, you're getting your job done wherever you want to, and you go home to your little cylinder bedroom that you live in. It's about as big as this table.
Literally. It's going to be super minimalistic. I think it's going to be cool, like, whenever the younger kids now grow up and we have kids that are, like, 10 or 12 being pilots in the next 15 to 20 years, and they all have, like, vlogs where it's, like, waking up and, like, it's going to be funny that you can go on your, like, pilot's live stream and be, like, getting ready for the flight.
Oh, my God, Jeff. I didn't think about that. I love that because what you're saying is there are, like, certain jobs and careers that are so professionally like done, like you have to have so much training and stuff that those people are not like, hey, you're welcome to the plane, bro. But eventually, because of technology and how easy things, just think of the helicopters they have from the military, like how much software is into those things that, it's basically DJI, like, drone thing, like, welcome to the Boeing 442, dude. What's up, bro? I'm going to take it out here. It's like, hold on, you want to try it? Because it's going to be like, fine.
Literally. Well, and I think, like, Southwest Airlines, I could see them, like, in the cockpit having a podcast set up because they're going to, like, we want our pilots to podcast during the flight.
Yeah.
So you can know from the true Southwest experience. I think that, like, all these companies are going to get into having their higher-ups podcast. So you can get... So you can know who we are,
Dude, I love that idea. It seems like it's so on the money that I feel like that something of that's going to happen.
It has to.
Because everyone's celebrity. Everything becomes a celebrity.
Literally. Whole Foods, where you're going to have general managers where they're just going to be like, well, stalking was cool. It's just going to be so inside baseball podcast that I'd listen to.
There was a kid on TikTok, and he worked for Walmart, and he was good enough. He was kind of smart enough that he realized that, like, I'm on that verge of, like, they're just going to block all this content. But he realized he just did really nice dances, real polite, didn't, like, cause a lot of problems. And, like, eventually Walmart was kind of, like, in on it.
Hell yeah.
And so, like, but it's not because he's, like, this Walmart creator on TikTok, getting paid, like, $7 an hour? And so I hope to God maybe marketing was like, hey, man, why don't you just come work for us instead? But who knows? Like, maybe they didn't give a shit. More of you that, like, we'll pay $6 and we'll get all this free publicity.
You got friends?
Yeah, it's kind of what
they
it
probably
is.
just gave him like a Walmart care package that like every free Walmart influencer gets, where they're like Walmart hoodie. He's like, thanks for reminding me of work. Yeah, there was a kid on TikTok who worked at Subway, and it would just be him making sandwiches and either describing like the encounter of the person ordering the sandwich, or just giving a rundown. And it's him making it, and he got so lucrative that he did actually start like doing deals with Subway, to the point where like they would allow him to film at his specific store. And now he just like, I think, works at Five Guys, and now he's just jumping to different businesses.
That's so funny. Well, it is this weird thing, especially with the camera over top.
Yes.
And I think people started to realize that they hated the celebrityness of like food making. It's like, I don't want to hear the story, and you're like almost your professional stand-up version of like whatever. I want to see what you're doing.
Definitely.
You know, because one, I want to make it.
Yeah.
And two, people start to realize, oh, not only is it instructional, but it is also visually entertaining.
Oh, satisfying.
Yeah, extremely. What's up with the ASMR of it, you know, all the sounds. And I think once that started happening, they were like, oh, we don't need to have these celebrity type people personalities. You can just actually show what we're freaking doing.
I know Guy Fieri's just like, I slid under the belt.
He totally did. Dude. He's so meme-tastic, though.
Oh, dude, he's made for it. Anyone that hates him just hates on a smart internet mogul. That he's been famous probably
so
my
long.
whole 26 years of being alive.
Insane.
Respect. Anyone that's in the game. I've been trying to start listening to more music or watching more like shows that I would talk shit on, but they're super famous and super big, to try to understand why. You know, like, obviously they're doing something. They're tickling someone's fancy. And at the end of the day, once I end up watching it, I'm like, I kind of start to like them.
Well, I think some people talk about this, about Keanu Reeves. Now, I don't know if I feel that way exactly, but if you kind of pull him away, even besides him being just an incredibly nice man, which seems to be very true, but like as an actor, he has found his way into some really cool movies.
Yes.
And I love John Wick. I love The Matrix. I love, what's the old movie, Ted and whatever?
Oh, Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted. But it's not like he's Leonardo DiCaprio, you know what I mean? He's pretty specific, like I don't want to say boring, but like, it's not like, but he's found, there's something. And then he's never going to go, obviously it's now, but it's never going to go away. And Guy Fieri is the same thing. It's like, people just love him. Just love it. He hasn't made a mistake.
I think they just tripled down on being themselves. And as cringy as it is, and it's those moments where like, I was talking about this with my brother, where like, whenever I was younger, I went through like a quote unquote emo phase. I remember we were at Kohl's, and I wanted to buy these like Janko pants that had like a chain on it, real dark black, and it even came with a free tech deck. So that tells you like the type of people they were going for. And I tried it on in the dressing room, and when I come out, he just goes, and Jeff went back and didn't wear it. And you know what? If I was meant to be an emo kid, I would have been like, conformist. He doesn't get it. And I would have worn it. But at that moment, I go, this ain't me. And Guy Fieri walked out, and his brother went, and he went, Flavor Town, bitch. And he didn't give two fucks. And I gotta respect it. They have something that I don't.
And
that I need
that
to
is
try to
so
find.
true. And there's moments in my life that I just conformed.
Yes.
You know, and I look back on it, and I was like, you know what? I think I would have been better, and I think I would have been more respected.
Yes.
If I just wouldn't have conformed. Like, I was a low-key emo kid, and I flirted with it a little bit. And
Real flirtatious.
Yeah. Like, you know, leave on the costume makeup after Halloween a little too long, couple days. Oh, I just can't wash it out, guys.
Your dad's like, it's not Ash Wednesday. Wipe it off. Okay, jeez.
Yeah, tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. Again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just into that song today. It doesn't matter that Halloween was yesterday, you know?
Yeah, you go through a breakup before you've been broken up with.
Wait, what's that?
That music makes you feel like I've gone through a breakup before I even dated someone. Like, it just
songs and stuff like that, because I haven't been broken up, because I've not really been in a relationship for such a long time. But I like pretend. Like, I want to feel sad like everybody else. Everyone else gets to have these terrible breakups and sadness. And, you know, I want to feel that even though it hasn't happened.
Is it like hearing those songs where they felt sad, they got broken up with, and they found a way to make it into art, which was great. And the only thing I found a way to make it in was maybe a little bit of jizz on an old T-shirt, where it was just like a sad masturbation. I'm like, these guys turn it into beautiful art, and I'm ordering Postmates. Like, what the fuck?
Just having a stranger bring me my food as I jerk off to Pornhub, POV.
Literally. When they drop it off, can you just say hey buddy, so my neighbors think I have a friend? Fuck, dude.
These other guys get dumped and they're just like, hold on. Yeah. And tonight will be the night that I will.
Oh yeah,
totally. And it's and then they get all these women and they're all like, it's not fair. Yeah, literally. It's not fair. Speaking, this is totally off the cusp, but I read or saw that Machine Gun Kelly, I believe, got dumped.
Oh,
or is getting dumped. It's out there. It's out there in the weeds.
I've been reading rumors like that too, and I'm not sure what to believe.
I go down that rabbit hole of just social media, and the one thing I love to watch is this one guy. I think he's a Barstool guy, and his he does this thing where he goes through a bunch of pictures of couples, and he shows who wears the pants, basically. And he does this line thing, and he says, who's ever leaning in, this person has the pants. And he goes through all these pictures, and he just draws a line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he drew, Will Smith and his wife, and obviously Will's leaning into his wife.
Yeah, Jada's wearing the pants.
Jada's wearing the pants. And so he went through the Megyn Kelly and MGK, and it was always, Megyn Kelly was always leaning in. And suppose there's a rumor that she's in Europe or whatever,
Well, last time, I think he had in an article whenever they were going through shit, he was like, I put a shotgun in my mouth and I tried to press it and nothing came out. It's
he has to be the most cringe pop star of all time.
1,000,000%.
He has, and I'm trying to go back in time. No, I'm just getting old. Yeah. But I'm like, no, fuck that. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I think what hurts is that I was an MGK fan whenever he was a heroin addict, Cows, and he looked like Eminem's offspring. But here's one thing that I respect.
And then he tried to rap with Eminem, and then Eminem rapped him back into pop music.
Rapped him right back into pop music. But you know what? The more that I go to a 9 to 5, the more I think about someone selling out, and a lot of people can be like, Machine Gun Kelly's selling out and stuff. But dude, I'm selling out for a 9 to 5 job on the daily. So, I mean, shit, respect.
Yeah, we're all selling out.
If he's selling out to, have generational wealth, then fuck, dude. All right. But I just don't want anyone to be, so sad. I'm like, that dude's, he's fighting off.
He made it there. It's social media. It's a social media thing. You wonder,
he's obviously very smart. He got his finger on the pulse.
Yes, he has his finger on the pulse. Yeah. That is exactly what it is. And he makes good enough music. Maybe, and this is funny. I've said this about, Lady Gaga when she first started making music. I was like, what the hell is this woman? I was so put off. But now I'm like, if I heard anyone say something bad about Lady Gaga, I'm like, excuse me, what the fuck did you say about Miss Lady Gaga?
She's a real artist.
Yeah, the queen. I love that. He's like, I will go to die for her now.
Oh, yeah.
Completely opposite. So, maybe in the future, but who knows?
Well, I think Matt Light would die for MGK. I know he's a fan.
Yes. Well, he also he loves when he infuses himself into pop culture because he actually got to be on the floor and he actually walked past and bumped into him. And so when those moments happen, he's like, well, now I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm way more a fan.
Yeah, even if he didn't even like the music, it's like, well, I like it now.
Yeah, he smelled good.
Yeah, he smelled good, right? So, I wanted to get in some of these topics and stuff, but me and you were just out here just riffing.
City,
We're just riffing. So I'm going to jump the first one. I don't remember I talked about it, but we're going to talk about some Pittsburgh stuff that's happening in Pittsburgh. So there is a company called Ecto VR. All these tech companies, they got to come up with the weirdest names. I sat here and had to practice. Ecto? I think it's Ecto. I'm thinking Echo, or what is the thing from Ghostbusters? Ecto 1.
Yeah,
Ecto, it's no, what's the car called? That's what it is.
I've never seen Ghostbusters, and I shoot myself in the foot.
Do I have to stop this podcast?
I know. It's the one, and I love all the guys in it. I've seen all their movies, except for Ghostbusters.
Oh, my God. I feel like you might have ruined the podcast. I don't know if I can come back from this. You got to watch that. That is one of the best, not just comedy movies. I think it's one of the best movies.
Well, that's what I heard. My uncles love it, and I do have it set in the queue, ready for as soon as Halloween hits.
Yeah.
I'm watching it.
You can watch 2 before 1, by the way. I'm not sure if it's better. I feel like it's better.
Okay.
But of course, the one's great. Yeah. So, anyways, oh man, really took me off. So, anyways, so they have a product called Ecto One, which sounds like the Ghostbusters vehicle, I believe. Nerd. And they're boots on your feet. So when you're in VR and you want to walk, they keep you in one spot.
Okay.
So they look really stupid. Actually, I think I actually have. Do I have it?
Yeah, let me see this. I'm trying to get a visual to make a little more sense.
Yeah. We want to look at the news, and this is it, and bam. Okay. This is like a weird I don't know why they think they're so cool that put up so many pictures.
Dude, that is so scary. That's like when you're trying to walk into the wall in 007 and your feet just keep going. No, dude. No.
So I think the shoes have some kind of motor.
They do, and they slowly bring you back so you don't hit a wall like an idiot. God damn it, dude. We're turning into Wall-E. We're turning into fucking Wall-E right now.
So you're totally... And now, I personally don't like that one. Because the one I've seen, it's more like...
It's a tread...
Yeah, it's a circle treadmill.
Love that one.
Yeah, but you have to be, like, engaged at the hip.
As you should.
Yeah. But what's funny, if you ever see someone use it, it's really like you gotta lean and you like... This weird motion. So it looks funny, but to me, it seems realer. I don't know. I can't think I could run with that. If I start running with that, I'm falling down.
You're falling, and you're constantly doing the nerdiest moonwalk as it brings you back. Dude, I don't like that. There's something about it where it's like, why are we getting pushed further away?
There is, maybe I'm showing my age again. I wish I can get the song is. There's a music video. Oh, here it goes. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. Yeah. And in the music video, he's on this huge treadmill in like this, it's all blocked off. And as he's walking towards the camera, the treadmill moves forward. Now, obviously they had to like, someone's running that.
Yeah.
But it's the same concept. Yeah. It's the exact same concept. Yeah. So here's a weird thing. So I have an Oculus and I love to use it. And at first I was very much like all bumping into my living room and the couch, into the television. I kind of put a thing on the TV and like reloading a gun and I'm like, smash. But after I played for a while, I realized I can just use the joysticks to turn my head. At first it was really jarring because like you're moving the joystick, but your head also works. So both work. So if you move the joystick and the head, you actually kind of, for speed, you have a little bit of an advantage. Yeah. Once I got over that, I stopped walking. I have my leg against the couch, and now I know where I don't walk around the couch or walk around the room anymore.
Oh shit!
So, like, I see these pieces of tech, and I'm like, I think people are going to evolve to something else because that's too stupid and it's too difficult.
It's way too early.
Yeah,
it's way too early. It's cool with what they're trying to figure out, but it's not practical.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that at all. Oculuses are cool. All that stuff's real sick. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel
you don't want to go in?
No, man. And it seems like the more this stuff goes like out, conspiracy corner. No, I'm not sure if it is going to happen. But are they just going to keep like another virus got to stay inside? Okay, well you can just work from home. Like I saw in VR that there's a guy that works at like a bank in a like VR world, and he actually gets paid to be a bank teller for this VR job.
I mean,
and he gets Bitcoin for it. And it's like,
oh man,
it's like, dude, it's cool and all, but, like if I'm older, I feel like there should be age limits. Like there's certain like communities where it's like 65 and up. I feel like this stuff should be for 65 and up. Like if you can't get out, if you can't do these things, if you want to relive certain moments, I mean, that's fine. But for us young bucks, it's good for recreation, but.
Well, I think what's going to happen, it is going to be as easy as maybe you put a chip in your brain. Yeah. Maybe you do have contacts or glasses, and it's a little more like you kind of have the more power to be immersive. Yeah. But I feel like it's just like, especially the augmented reality of it. So like you're physically here, and I have the chip in my brain, and now I have it says Jeff on the top of your head, so I never really forget someone's name. Maybe I have a disease where Brad Pitt has this problem. He cannot recognize faces really well, and people think he's rude to him because he won't be like, sorry, what's your name again? They're like, Brad, we've worked, and he has this problem.
Is it only like, I think I've only heard hot guys say they have this.
That's probably, he's met so many fucking people.
A non-hot guy remembers.
You're right. You're right.
It sounds like a very Zach Morris disease where it's like, but I get it. Yeah. So if that'd be great for him.
Yeah.
And I think it would be good, but that's where you get into the mind reading. That's where you get into
Oh, I know.
you can't shut it off.
Yeah, it's like
There
some
has to
people are
be.
gonna choose to be completely offline. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that, but I feel like I hope I'm not the person who's just so in where like I really weigh like 20 pounds because I just basically am just in VR all day. I don't need to not be because I can, work and do everything. I don't need to come out.
But there's gonna be some like privileges in a sense where it's like, yeah, you can be off the grid, but if you want to do X, Y, and Z, you're gonna have to create an account and go through this. Like,
make the paywall.
Yeah,
You got to pay for it. Yeah,
it's gonna be a horror deal. Now, my
Scary.
family lives all over. Like my sister's in Nashville, my brother's in Philly, my parents are in Florida. Would I love to once a week have us all be able to VR, get into a room, and shoot the shit? That'd be sick.
It is fun.
And I do like certain ideas because I think that the more people upload, like how we were talking about the kids who are younger and once they get older, once those kids now they're like 10 and 11, once they're like older and they're probably 60s, 70s, and they pretty much put all of their like thought process online, every tweet, all this stuff. And once they pass, I feel like there's going to be like a place you can go where it's like a VR room and you set it up. And when you go in, it's like an AI version of your grandpa or your brother. And it has generated thoughts and reactions based off all the generated thoughts and reaction, like how AI knows like what shoes we like or stuff like that. And you can have like solace with a lost family member.
And it's creepy, right? And the more information, because the more data it has,
the more it's
kind of
like
be
you.
the person. There's a show on HBO, which is from an old movie or TV show I can't remember, called Westworld.
Okay.
And it's basically super intelligent, artificial intelligent robots that they sort of made for a park just for fun, and then they evolve and they like break out of the park and they basically take over the world, because they're so smart. But it is that sense of like who has control, like Sorry, what exactly were you saying? I almost lost my point there.
No, I just saying like how we put in so much information that when we pass, they could have like versions of us to talk to, where we could call, and if we could also give them like inside information, like, well, he loved this, like the wife gives information about the husband and stuff like that. I just feel like there's a lot of cool things that can come out of it, but then I feel like it's just stunning a lot of the natural human growth, which is just like we're moving on to the next evolution, and I'm holding on for dear life. Like, no, this way's right.
Yeah, I know, and it's like, I'm going to be part of the cloud.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I remember what I was saying. So later in the show, the robots actually start taking, somehow, they don't really show it, but like the essence of people, like they pull the data from real humans and they put it into a robot. But it's never quite the same person. And it's this whole like, is it the same person or is it not? It's super creepy. Because it's common. It's common. And there's another article. This shouldn't say an article. There was a video that I saw talking about more AI. And AI art is like the new big thing. Actually, I just saw another article recently that some real legit art show, the winner, the first place, was from AI.
Holy shit.
Completely original art. So it's not like you're pulling it and it's cheating somehow. Completely original art. But what this video was saying was the ability to go back in time to maybe certain movies and TV shows and like say they were sponsored by Pepsi, but their contract changed. Okay, now we're going to change it to Coca-Cola.
That's crazy.
And it's like, man, so you want to watch Back to the Future and you're like, was he drinking? What was he drinking?
Yeah, it's a real Mandela effect.
Yes, yeah. And I think that's how they talked about it, like as a Mandela effect. So it's like you start to really like, now, is that bad? Because that's not crazy, but it can get obviously worse than that.
Well, I think that you got to think from like a little standpoint, then you got to think the most drastic. And at some point, they're going to start changing history. Because
exactly
at that point, they can just modify it however they want, where even bad things that we had to learn about in history, I can see them erasing because it's not good.
Yeah. And by the way, it's already happened. How many times did they rewrite the Bible?
Yeah. Literally.
So like, yeah, it's just the new technology, only it's so good. And obviously people when they visually see something, they take it as truth or more truthful. And as we get better and better at doing these things, especially with deep fakes, they can change words, faces, places, maybe in a certain movie, because certain movies are like kind of canceled. Like you can't watch Revenge of the Nerds is really not like a safe movie to watch. Neither is
Super rapey.
Yeah, it's super rapey. I want to say Piggies. It's not called Piggies. This is old movies at the same time called Pig something. It's about, anyways, it's like worse than Revenge of the Nerds. But to go back and be able to like change what they said so it's more, PC.
But that's so weird because
Scary.
I feel like you have to leave certain things that lack the growth that we have now in the past so people can see it and be like, oh shit,
Exactly.
look how we've grown. Instead of having it be a constant, everything's the same, everything's caught up. It just doesn't leave room for like natural evolution.
We were always great
growth.
and smart and amazing, right? And it's whoever's in charge politically or however the world is in the future, whoever has the power. Yeah. It's like, we've always been good. This is the way we've always done it. And then someone finds an old tape, the Bernstein beers, what? Spelled with an I? Revolt!
Yeah, right? Oh, dude, yeah. It's creepy. And I think that the creepy thing about it is we're about like 5 to 7 years away from seeing like real shit.
Yeah.
Like really trippy shit.
So here is some scary stuff that's happening here. This was on America's Got Talent. And I thought this was cool because this was not about necessarily someone coming on and having singing talent, even though it does. But these guys came on, and they are tech guys that work on deep fakes and videos and stuff like that. And so they came on, and they did this. Is there audio? I think there's audio. I thought there was audio. Anyways, that's Simon Cowell. There he goes. Well, that's Simon Cowell there. But like, on stage is not Simon Cowell. You can see there's a camera on the guy.
It's so good. And there's little like tells.
Yes, there are tells. You can tell.
If it's this good, this early, then how can't they just have Simon Cowell some outrageous shit just to get him in trouble?
Well, that's kind of the whole thing with deepfakes.
Or even robbing. Like, say someone robbed a bank or put someone in a weird position.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let me turn this down.
That's like the old school American. This new Simon has like new teeth.
Yeah, right.
Like
it's that too.
Botoxed up. Like, oh my God.
I know. And it also makes you remember what he actually used to look like and how much work he has done. Oh, yeah. I want to show the beginning a little bit. Okay, so on the left there is the actual singer. And they come out and they put the camera in, and the camera must go through software. Yeah. And they project the new. So that's what's crazy. It's not like they went back and edited it and made sure the software was perfect. Yeah, it was in real time. So I find that just as scary. I was like, well, that's so simple just to be like, oh crap, like we want to do something, the Russian government needs to do something to like cause panic or a vote in a certain way, and we just push it out.
Couldn't they send someone like, let's just say that someone does a deep fake of Putin. He's like, you have 3 hours or I'm sending a nuclear bomb. And then it would take a little bit for our government to be like, all right, is this real? Like, how do we go about this? Or even just having someone like on for an interview and having someone who can do a good impression do that interview. Because a lot of it now, I think Charlamagne the God said that, like, who wants to believe the truth when the lie is way more entertaining?
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people, you just have to put it out. And there's a lot of things that have been debunked, but no one cares once they just gobble up that information. And they'll just believe that.
Yeah, and they want it because they want to believe it, too.
Yeah. And it's not just like creating a mental with it, because now it's not just what they think.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, because say even if they didn't believe it, even though, like that same joke when we were talking earlier about guns, and I said my dad, he just goes, well, if you can just refix the gun and go, now it's not a AK, whatever. It's like, well, now he feels good. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't necessarily believe that true, but it's like, that's a good enough argument. That feels right, and they just, so now if it's a deep fake, people that already want to believe that way, they're not going to go to the next step. No. They're like, oh yeah, I'm right. I'm totally right. But I do agree. Like, you're right. Like at first, they're going to have like fact checkers and other witnesses. So I think for something like crazy that happened, like if a politician or whoever president, and they try to make a deep fake to cause like mass panic, I think it's really hard to happen yet, because there's just so many people would come on and be like, that's not real. Yeah. Like it's just like so many people would be like, I was there. Like he didn't say that, or the real person. But if we are in like a more scarier time where someone can turn the internet off and on and off, like some countries like have that thing, and then you have such little information, like maybe you don't get no radio, no TV for weeks, and all of a sudden you get this video saying, "Hey, United States is being attacked. You know, we lost something, and then it's out, and it's like, was that real?"
Yeah.
So that's when it's fucking crazy. It's
when
like
it's the fact that we're gonna have to now double check everything, which is going to be exhausting. It doesn't help that
so exhausting.
All this technology is coming around right after a pandemic where everyone's mental health is fucked and we're all on the fritz. So yeah, this is great, dude. This is sick as fuck. I'm just grateful that I got to grow up in a time where up until 6th, 7th grade, I didn't have social media, and then I got to experience social media, normal life, and then the perks of it. But now it just feels like we are lost in the sauce. We are
lost in the sauce.
Tangled in wires. We are fucking. And some days I'm like, this is the best thing ever. And then I have these conversations, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm doing therapy tonight.
I do feel that, like, oh, it's so awesome. It's so great. There's so much knowledge out there. And I actually wrote this down too. Like, for the last years, more than for the last few years, I feel like I've just been like stuffed with knowledge. Like when YouTube first came out, I'm like, oh man, I can learn anything. TED Talks, and this is great. You know, and then it moved on to TikTok. I'm like, I feel like I'm taking even more in now. Yeah. And it's like, well, wait a second. Like, when am I going to stop? Like, am I going to take over the world with this information? Like, when is enough information enough? And it's just constantly new information. It's like,
I think that's
should I do something with this?
Well, I think that it's almost impossible to take it in and retain it. Because a lot of time where you take in information like that, you take it in, you shut the TV off, you close the book, you close the newspaper, and then your brain can take it in and you have a few hours to contemplate it. I'm getting hit with the amount of Snapple facts and weird world facts.
Snapple facts.
Oh, well, if something goes wrong, you use this straw. Like the amount of stupid things that I know that I'm never actually retaining, but I know, it's just getting. I feel like all of our brains, we have like 5,000 open tabs, and we've never actually clicked on any of them. And I think that's going to make problem solving for us in the future bad. Like, what are our brains going to be like when we're 60? Are we going to have like early dementia because our brains are just,
I think so.
I think we're getting overworked out, and our brains are just going to be like, and everyone listening to podcasts, like I listen to podcasts so much and it's just people talking that I could see myself at like 70 or 80 just being like, and then John went down the street and just like doing a solo pod to my fucking self.
It's like when you see those weird memes of Joe Rogan, it was like, my buddy and I, and it starts repeating, my buddy and I, have all these stories. Snapple Facts is so funny, by the way, because it's like we went from like, you had to go to the store and buy Snapple, and then if you to get something kind of witty to share with your friends, like, oh, that's a good one. Yeah. And now, like, you get that every second of the day, just facts all day long to tell your friends.
And when you said before with the Snapple fact, like you're going on, is that when you told your friend, they're like, oh, no shit. Now I'll send my friend where there's this video where they break down like NASA code, and he'll just thumbs up it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, way greater information. But the response is just like, I'm overindulged.
And at the same time, he might have took it in, too, for all you know. He might have loved it, but that's just how we interact, where it's like, good one there, Jeff. Yep. It's a good one. We're all scientists now. I do feel like we're all super intelligent. Like we said earlier, pilots are just going to be, it's going to be so freaking easy. Oh, yeah. Everyone's just like, oh, yeah, I'll send you the scientific equation for time travel. Can you check that out for me real bad, Bob? And Bob's like, hold on, I gotta watch these Steelers before we be time traveling there, Jerry.
Freaking boom. Air fryer? Come on.
Ben Roethlisberger, the fifth here, is trying to throw touchdowns. And we're going to be time traveling back to watch his grandfather play. So just give me his moments.
I need to eat my stem cell ice cream. And then I'm going to go back in time.
Oh, that's so great. I do love talking about TikTok because I was talking about how I take my news in, and I always, at least before COVID, everything got really crazy. I always wanted to feel like I had an argument for people because I would get like angry when people would say stupid propaganda and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to know. So I'm going to watch both sides, you know, and I'm not going to be hit with propaganda. And then at some point it was like, I think all I'm watching is propaganda. I can't learn anything if I'm watching propaganda. And now I think I've made the crossover to, I'm getting my main news from TikTok. And I feel like if I tell someone that, they're just going to be like, well, this fucking guy gets his news from TikTok. You can't listen to this kid.
No, I think you're not wrong in doing that though, because we were talking a little bit off camera. Yes, we talk off camera. We're not
Check the Patreon. I'll throw it up there.
Yeah, we're literally not AI. Where this stops and just go back. But no, I think that TikTok people and the people that take the journalism into their own hands are the new modern day journalists.
Because they're like real journalists, they feel like. At least
they're not
researching.
getting bought out. Most journalists that work for a newspaper, they have to do clickbait and hot topics and topics that they know will get passed. When before, some guy just kind of ran down to City Hall and he's like, dig it here, dig it here. That's kind of what TikTok is now, where some guy will buy a lav mic and just be like, I have the information.
I know, it's so great. There is a YouTube channel. It's called Channel 5.
I like
you
Andrew.
like you know that is?
The past month I just got into it.
It is fantastic.
Great.
Like he doesn't even seem like a hardcore because what he really does is he's just letting people talk.
Yeah.
But there's something. There's something in that he's able to let people just open up. And it is great. I guess he might have had a deal with Vice, I think, years ago, but he's doing his own thing. And that's what it kind of feels like. It's a Vice type news thing. But it's it's just him. Oh, man, it's so great.
Yeah,
it's so great.
Especially the way he works with people. I think I saw him on Hot Ones, and he said that,
yes.
What he does is he asks them stuff that are passionate to them and just let the people implode instead of a shock value question and stuff.
Yeah, he's not shocking. He's not going for a clickbait. He wants to know the story.
But it leads to clickbait just by once it gets started.
Exactly.
Great.
It works its way instead of trying to force the clickbait in, like how some Gen Zs are trying to prank everything and everything around them, just walking up to people saying the weirdest crap. This guy just literally says nothing.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, Miami fucking sucks right now. That damn wrong shit. It's like, what the hell, dude? Didn't even ask you this question.
Well, he creates that effect that they're almost not on camera. They're just talking.
Yeah. They feel very comfortable.
Yeah, he's really good at what he does. I was surprised that I was sleeping on him for that long.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the ethos, but I never clicked
on it. That's kind of, I slept on him for a while too, but it's the same TikTok thing where these guys, they use that old school mic. Cause I guess the handheld mic is better than the earphones, I guess. Or it's just visually cool to have the earplugs in, and you're just sitting there. And then TikTok has that automatic green screen thing, so people can just screenshot and okay, and then show, and they're just talking and showing video. So it's not like they're just talking crap. They're like yada yada yada, and here's my research, and this is what I did.
They're kind of like the news though, and so here's sports, and they have the green screen. It is crazy. All on their phone, too. Dude. It is crazy how they can literally be a whole production.
My favorite sports guy, and this actually got me into watching a little bit more of college basketball and stuff, but he does more football. But he literally records his television, like DirecTV, because I know it's the rewind and stuff. By the way, I think it's Trap House Sports to throw his plug. And he's so damn funny. And he must record the whole game, and he goes through and he does his own highlight reel of the game, and it's it's like comedy. Like he was doing Ben Roethlisberger, one of his last games. He's like, oh, Ben Roethlisberger throws back, throwing this last good pass of his entire career, and Washington drops it. You know what I mean? It was and I loved it, and I felt like I was back into sports because ESPN, at least when I used to watch it a couple years ago before that, I was like, this is trash. Oh, yeah. It's back to the same thing as when I said about cooks or chefs. It's all about the person on camera. And I don't care about that. I want it. I want a personality that's in it, but it was so about them and not about the sport.
It really is. And it seems old fashioned, they're at the principal's office, the way they all sit up after frame. And I do like those people. And I think that NFL teams should start working out where you have a different, audio stream where you can listen to the announcers, and then they can hire that TikTok guy where he does the
I would love it
because I feel like it would kill.
And you know what, the NFL is trying different ideas. So obviously they had the Manning brothers. Have you seen that?
That was just an abuse relationship where Peyton always put down Eli. One
funny.
time Eli left early because Peyton just put him in his place.
And I love it, but I think the NFL has realized that people want to watch the game with their buddies, and not everyone's so into every down. They're just kind of it's almost background noise for them. And so there's other things popping up. I don't know if you ever heard of Dude Perfect.
Yeah.
Is a YouTube show. And supposedly they're going to do Thursday night football games.
Oh, shit.
So it's going to be probably similar to how they did with the Manning, where they're on the side of the screen, it's Dude Perfect, hanging out, talking about the game, doing stunts. They're going to do trick shots and stuff. But at the same time, they'll be talking about the game. And I'm sure like for young kids, like they rather watch that.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think Nickelodeon too. Like there's a setup. You can watch some of the games on Nickelodeon. I think if they scored a touchdown, like the end zone was
I've
like full of
seen that.
slime or something.
Yeah.
So you're right, because you don't want to. Some of these networks are boring. Like I want to watch the highlights with some crazy young guy that's just recording on their phone. That's wild. Has there been anything on either TikTok, media, Netflix that you are just binging now that you can't get enough of?
I did stop just recently, and I do want to throw it out there because I think it's one of the best TV shows ever written. The Sopranos.
Oh, okay.
I had my first full ride through.
Oh, so like you never watched it before and you got to experience it the whole way through. That's the fucking best, bro.
Start to finish. And it's so fucking good. And what's great too is that
great.
When I go hang out with my uncles, their faces light up because they haven't talked about Vito in 7 years. And they're like, dude, you saw that spot? Like, oh, dude, it's great. So I love The Sopranos. As far as binging, though, I will say this podcast, Are You Garbage? Have you heard of it?
No, you might have brought this up to me last time. I don't remember.
They're really good. There's comics in New York, and they interview other comedians and celebrities, and they ask them questions about how they grew up to figure out if they grew up trash or classy. and the questions are so great. Like, it's just little stuff where I think it's like, do you have an extra refrigerator in your garage that just has, like, poppin' beer in it? And
yeah.
Because, like, your family will never throw away an appliance. They're like, you cannot, if it's a dryer and we get a new one, you're putting an extra dryer in the garage.
It's just going in the garage.
It's like a pride thing. Where
it just keeps it like eventually where it's like, all right, now we got 2, 3 fridges in the garage. One's got to make it to the road. This is going, but they don't like that. That's when they start calling family members. I got this other, this fridge. You could use it. It's a little warmer in the tops, but you know.
You definitely can't keep meat. Keep water for sure. Dude.
The beers are like the good temperature. You can actually put them in the freezer and they don't freeze. So it's actually better than a regular fridge.
Dude, surprisingly, like I might keep it now that I just said that.
Actually, Joe, I have to call you back. Sherry, we're moving the fridge back into the living room.
Another thing, UFC, the past 2 years,
okay,
I've been like real into it because I never been like a big follow sports fan, like playoff and Super Bowl or championship type of guy, but I like UFC because I can like latch on to like 4 or 5 people that I like, and I can kind of figure out in my own story.
That's cool. That's one other TikTok, Snapchat thing where I don't I'm not into the sport. But I'll sit there and like, oh, I love just watching the end of like a little commentary on a couple punches and stuff like that. Seeing someone just get lit up. I'm like, yeah, this is cool.
And I started collecting UFC trading cards.
Okay.
Stuff because I know that's cool. That's like a market where I know a lot of my friends collected Pokemon and stuff like that. And I recently told a couple of like comic friends I knew, and I didn't realize how embarrassing it was till I said it, but I used to like collect Magic the Gathering cards growing up. And I went to go hang out with a few friends at school, and when we went to go play, I said it out loud, and I didn't realize that I was calling it Magic Bug Gathering cards because I'm fucking dyslexic, and I thought that was right, and the record scratched, and they were like, what the fuck did you say?
You've been saying it wrong for so long too, right?
Oh yeah, and I've been reading it wrong. I've been doing everything wrong. And even one kid was like, Jeff, what comes after L? And I'm like, NMNOP. Like, get the fuck out. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. So now it's just like, I wasn't smart enough for Magic the Gathering. And now I'm with like UFC collectors who are just like, have CTE from their brothers choke slamming them growing up. And now I'm like, I got kicked out of the smart ones, but now I'm with all the dumbest people.
You went to the other side of the spectrum so dramatically.
And they're almost too dumb, which I'm at like the card shops, and they're just like, do you have Conor McGregor? And I'm like, you suck.
That is so funny. Well, thanks for coming, Jim. What do you got going on? You got anything to plug? You got some podcasts? You got some things?
The podcast, I'm very proud of it. It switched from I interviewed people for like 2 to 3 years to now I'm about to drop my 5th solo one.
Ooh, solo.
And going solo, it has way more of my personality. I wanted people to be able to see me at shows, and then if they watch the podcast, it actually has my personality. And I was way more Jimmy Fallon and had zero of my personality. And I just got tired of doing it, and the numbers weren't showing. And ever since I've been doing the solo ones, my numbers have gone way up, and I've actually had friends saying, now I can watch your podcast because I care about it. So,
well, it's probably too. Now, if you have guests, you'll probably be better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there will be people that actually care about it, and I'm not just trying to fill a gap.
Yeah. Actually, some of the worst podcasts over the last 10 years when people really start figuring out that was like a cheat that everybody did. And I still kind of, obviously you're my guest because it's hard to do by yourself.
But you have you in it.
Yeah, I have me in it.
But like, I'm commentating on your thought process.
Okay, you're right. I did put together a thing, so but I've seen podcasts that like it's all about the guest.
That's what I was doing.
And I was like, I can't even, like, unless the guest is super good.
Yeah, and I'm talking to people that haven't made it. So I would ask my friends, why haven't you watched it? They're like, I don't want to hear the backstory of a guy that I will see at Whole Foods later that month. Like, that's cool and all, Jeff. And it was great for networking. I met a lot of cool people.
It is great for networking.
Shows,
it's very true.
I want more of my personality and that stuff. So follow at Babyface Assassin Podcast. September comedy shows. This Friday, I'm going to be at Wheelfish Bar and Grill. On the 4th, I'm going to be Don't Tell Comedy. Don't Tell Comedy is like national. They perform all over. It's a really cool setup. They don't give you the lineup or the venue until the day of the show.
Oh.
So it's literally like spur of the moment. You check it out, and their shows are always awesome.
That's cool because if you got to have some bringers, it makes it a little different.
Oh yeah,
yeah. True friends that come to that one.
Literally, and they do it like it will be at a rock climbing place. We'll set up a stage and do everything there. They're very like DIY. Awesome people. On the 10th, I'll be at Rocket Comedy Club. On the 14th, Hop Farm Brewery with Steve Hofstetter and friends. On the 16th, J&D Cellar Winery. And on the 24th, I'll be at Ernie B's Rock and Roll Barbershop, where I'm going to be opening up with like 20 minutes of stand-up and then closing out is my friend Sean. He's performing his new album. And
damn.
So that's September shows. Come out to any one of those. Go on my Instagram. I got the flyer and all that stuff. You can check it out.
Awesome, man. You got a lot going on. That's pretty sweet. Well, everyone.
Last time I promoted nothing.
Last time you promoted nothing. It didn't matter. It was too loud anyways. That's true, and I'm more prepared now and I got the gear and we sound great.
And it looks good. Guys, this setup is legit. Okay.
Thank you.
When you come here, you feel like the bee's knees. So shout out Dustin.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope everyone could hear well this time and I don't have to go back and do some processing. But thanks for watching Smart House, guys, on the Pits. All the news stories can be found on our Smart House Facebook page. You can check out www.thepitts.company where you can find endless amount of funny and informative content from Pittsburgh. And for bonus content, if you guys just want to help us out and whatever, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thepits. And Smart House has been produced by the Gateway.media, the gateway to all your media. Guys, this has been Smart House. Thanks for watching.